You're gonna film me? What are you gonna do? What are you gonna do?
I said, what you gotta do, you know?
What do you want to talk about?
Let's talk about. All this right.
I want to talk about that Malcolm X comment, brother.
Let me get the makeup.
So you're all over?
No, let me get the camera.
What are you doing, brother? Respect. Look, he's gonna go for me. He's gonna get me. He's gonna get.
Content over everything. How you doing, brother?
Yeah, brother.
I'm watching you.
Still. Respect him.
Who are you dealing with today?
He's dealing with me. He's gonna do his crap. He's dealing with his KKK.
Have you debated him before?
KKK. Yeah.
But I just didn't come out at the time.
It wasn't you, was it, mate?
You called me KKK. Do you remember I walked past the
No, but it was someone else criticising you, innit? Someone saying.
The next guy.
So was
Black Raven dealt with the other guy.
We are.
Yeah, Black and Gary dealt with you.
Gary.
Yeah, Gary and Black.
Gary. Where you came in, he came in and saved me.
I did? From what?
Yeah,
What's
from
up?
Gary, and he's called me a racist because I couldn't identify. I said,
Oh, black culture.
Yeah, black culture. Well,
But to be honest, both sides, you know what I mean?
Yeah, it was a crap argument, man.
You should have defined what you meant by black.
But what I wanted to do is the argument that I was annoyed about was the light-skinned mixed race guy that you argued. Yeah. And
What was that you waiting for?
I can't remember any of it though. You can't address it. I can't remember any of it. Can you?
Well, he probably can.
What's that mean?
You got to defend yourself.
Wherever you came
He's going to attack
I'm not
me.
defending you today.
You're not defending me.
Our Raspect's big. When it comes to debating, them brothers know.
Well, we're going to have to do it from
Are you
scratch.
recording?
I don't remember
This
it.
guy's recording.
COE though, he just
Hey, CRE gave him the camera.
Well, he's got the camera, so we wait for him. We wait for the big camera.
main camera.
Okay.
So what are you going to do, brother? What are you going to shout at me for? If you're going to shout, I'm not going to do it. Like you did to Raj. That was a character assassination.
Yeah, don't do takia.
I don't do takia.
Don't do takia.
It's not my thing, brother.
You've been following them Sunnis, bro.
Sufis, man.
Sunnis savage monkey beast
No,
cap.
don't call them savage.
Yeah, they are savage, bro. Everyone else agrees apart from crazy people like you. They must be paying you on the side, bro. Paying you on the
Content's coming, brother. Leon's coming.
Oh yeah, okay. I'm gonna watch it later.
You
Still.
intercepted me. He's going to watch my brother there. Right, Respect wants to talk to me. He's getting psyched up. Come on, cool. Welcome to it. Tell me what it is. Come on. What do you want to have him at?
Yeah.
We were talking about the statement about Malcolm X. Right?
Yeah. So Bismillah.
He's bouncing about here. He's not standing still.
Enough love. Been watching you, brother. You got familia and you got some serious operation going on. I love your movement and I hope your blessing and that thing grows to look after my people. You get me? So I'll stay strong. You get me? CEO, especially people like you, I can't represent like, well, not, I don't represent anybody, but I'm saying other than myself. There are certain, you don't already know chemists that chatting bare breeze on your channel, but I'm just saying you bring the right flavour, and you bring the right message, and you bring the right movement, and that movement will make us become something of ourselves, like in our community and our families around the nation. You get me?
See, man's out here with the family, you get me? Yeah?
Your movement is something. I like it.
Just over there, okay? Shout.
And I love that, and I love that.
Honor.
He's not going to do it.
Your movement there, Rasta.
My brother's here with his family. So when I
You're
deal
well
with my
loved.
man quickly, yeah,
He's dealing with me.
I'll show you the
be dealt
difference between the people that have got love. That guy, I don't know him from Adam. Yeah? A white guy came from Australia today. He's been watching every G-Circle since the first one. Yeah? He said he rates the movement, he's screaming gang unite. Yeah? So, oh God. So obviously, man's out here, you get me? Man, I've seen with my own two eyes that when black people do a progressive movement, it's not everyone that's against man that isn't black. I've seen that with my own two eyes and I've experienced that, yeah? But I'm not gonna ignore that there are still people from outside man's nation that will see man doing a good works and all they wanna come with is ad hominems, yeah, and all they want to come with is like criticism to put man down. So Rap Raven dealt with the drive-by criticism. Gary and the other brother dealt with my guy already. So obviously, I wouldn't even come out here to deal with my guy because it's not important like that. So when I saw the thing, I ain't come out. You know what I'm saying? I'm here now to just expose the fact that my man woke up that morning, he didn't know what he was talking about. So he's come with an argument and he doesn't even know what his argument was that day. So I'm going to ask you to repeat your
There
argument.
was 2 arguments.
All right, go on.
What did you ask me when you were surrounded, when you all ganged up on Raj, and I came in and we spoke? What did you ask me? Because you said I don't know my argument, but now let's see if you know yours. What did you ask me, brother?
What, whether you support Tommy Robinson?
Yeah.
And you said no.
Yeah, and then what did you ask me?
And like Steve in the building.
Whether you support Raj?
No, you asked me another question.
What did I ask you?
You said,
On camera, yeah?
what do you think of Tommy Robinson?
And you said you don't like him?
No, I said he was an idiot,
Yeah.
right?
All right.
Why did the conversation end there? It's like, it didn't go where you wanted it to. What if I'd have said, I supported him, which I don't, but what if I did?
If you supported him, I would have debated you on that premise.
I know, but why does the conversation end? At that point, it just dies. Because I didn't give you your narrative, so you just went, that's
it. You
it.
didn't support someone who was racist. You didn't support someone who's racist. So why have I got a debate with you? If you're supporting someone who I believe is racist, I'm gonna debate with you, innit?
What are you going to debate?
Huh?
There's nothing to debate.
But what was
I
your
don't
original
support Tommy
argument?
Robinson.
You came down here. Don't try to
2 arguments.
divulge
Brother,
from
2
the
arguments.
original argument.
2
What was your
arguments.
argument? Let's deal with this.
You surrounded Raj. That was the thing, right?
You didn't say that in the Gary debate. This is not what we're talking about in the Gary debate.
No, in the Gary debate.
All right.
It was
what was your
about-
argument when you come to the park
Okay,
and
so the
say
Gary
my
debate
name, fam?
was.
No, when you say my
you-
name, your head has to get taken off.
It was about heads coming off. We're not talking.
Heads will roll.
My head's not rolling fucking anyway.
Literal heads will roll. You get me? I'm telling you.
Did you, in the debate with the mixed race lad, the young lad, there was a statement made about Malcolm X, and I want you to tell me what you said. Did you diss him by calling him a light-skinned brother? Did
I just Malcolm X? Do you know who my favourite revolutionary is?
He's my favourite too, but
No,
can you just say that?
No. One
Did
minute,
you say
one
it or
minute,
not?
one minute. He
If
ain't
you
your
say you didn't
favourite
say it, that's fine.
revolutionary. That's one, innit?
How the fuck would
Malcolm
you
X-
know what my favourite revolution
Because
is?
if he's your favourite revolutionary, then your politics would reflect that. So my politics reflects
How do you know what my politics
My
is?
politics reflects
I
everything.
don't know what my politics is.
Fam, I do know your politics. You get me? Because
You only know 2 things
Malcolm
about me.
X's, what was Malcolm X's 2 organisations that he had before he died? If he's your favourite guy,
I'm not having that discussion.
what was his 2
I'm not having that
organisations?
discussion.
What do
We're
you
not
mean
having
not
that
having that discussion?
The discussion
'Cause
isn't
you
about
don't
who
know.
Malcolm X is. The
'Cause you
discussion
don't
is,
know.
did you make
You
that
don't
statement?
know.
No, because
I
that's
know.
your
I
narrative.
know
That's
who
what you're
Detroit Red
spinning.
is. I know Detroit Red. I know Malcolm X's journey, and before Malcolm X died, he came back, he left the Nation of Islam, and he started 2 organisations. One which was an organisation for all people, which was a spiritual organisation, yeah, and then a
But
political,
brother, that's not
a
the
political
discussion. What did you
organisation-
say about
a
him?
political organisation
doesn't want to talk about it.
for the black man and black woman to deal with their politics. And the reason why I'm pointing that out is because when I'm saying Malcolm X is my favourite political person,
Right.
I mirror that same
But
structure.
what was the discussion?
And you
if
don't.
you want to tell me that what you said wasn't what I thought you said, that's fine.
No.
But did you say it or not?
I said that there's people of mixed heritage
Why are you
and
smiling?
light
Come on, brother,
skin.
just say what you
Yeah.
said. That's all I'm asking.
I'm saying what I said. I said there's people of mixed
We've
heritage
got it on video, we can check
and
it.
light skin, yeah, that was working for the slave master and oppressor, yeah, during slavery, yeah, because there was a privilege. And then there was people like Malcolm
White
X,
privilege.
yeah, and then there was people like Malcolm X that who went against the grain and did not allow light-skinned privilege to come in between him
But
focusing
would
on
Malcolm
black issues.
X, when he was in the Nation of Islam, the things he was saying, would he not be included in the likes of Larry Elder today? Would he
No.
not be grouped in that? Would he not be called,
No.
would he not be accused of cooning or whatever they say, right? Would he not be accused of that?
No,
You say no.
No, I said Malcolm X though.
No, I said accused of cooning,
Would
the
Malcolm
American
X-
term. You
would
understand
Malcolm X
the
be
term.
accused of- Malcolm X
Ah,
would be accused of.
He's a shit stir over there, Leon.
I don't like you.
It's not like you. He's look,
He's trying to joke about that. You get me? But man's
Stay out of it.
cool. Man's rested. Man's well rested for Speaker's Corner, so I'm good. You get me? But what I'm saying is, yeah, Malcolm X would have never been seen as a coon.
Okay, why
So
do you think that? Why do you
your
think
argument there is null and void again. Like anyone here
I asked
watching
you a
this
question.
thing,
I
who
didn't
knows
say.
about-
I didn't
No,
make an argument. I asked you a
What I'm
question.
saying is, just
I
that
asked you a simple question.
The question of whether Malcolm X is retarded or a coon is a retarded question within itself, because Malcolm X, throughout his whole history, stood for black people unapologetically and unmovingly.
Taking responsibility.
So he's the complete opposite.
Taking
of a
responsibility was his
You
message,
understand?
though, right?
100%.
Right. But that's what Larry Elder's saying. And that's what Larry Elder's saying. And that's what Jesse Lee Peterson's saying.
But you got taking responsibility, and you've got also holding this society and this system responsible, regardless of how you feel like white people are gonna treat you. This is the problem with black people. A lot of black people.
Leon, get in here.
A lot of black people.
I'm gonna be quiet.
No, get in here. Come on. Gang up on the white guy. Come on, get in here.
A lot of black people.
Let's have a bit of black supremacy over here.
Are not confident to talk about, and Asian people as well. A lot of black people and Asian people are not confident to talk about the racism in this system. You understand? So although I do take responsibility, and you can't ask me whether I take responsibility, because you see the G-walks where we go from ends to ends, from hood to hood, yeah, where the youth are killing each other, and we go to change it. That's taking responsibility. We're not pointing fingers and just saying the system, but at the same time, we're holding the system responsible for the estates that we live on that look like prisons. We're holding the system responsible for the poverty that we're living in. We're holding the system responsible for the failure of the education system. We're holding the system responsible for the prejudice within the banking system, and the things that the system is responsible for, we're holding them responsible.
I get that. Doesn't mean we have to agree with it.
I don't care if you agree. It's
Well,
not about
there's
you.
no
If
conversation.
I always
If you don't care what we think, there's no conversation.
I always say, if all white people love black people tomorrow, it's not going to change our situation, because black people are still going to be fighting amongst black people. We're still going to have hate for black people. All of the issues that are really within the black community are going to be the same. So the
implication there is that we're racist.
Listen, me reaching white people isn't going to change our situation. Now, if all black people was to love each other tomorrow and love ourselves, then we would demand respect from everyone else. So it wouldn't really matter.
Which is what
you
Malcolm
thought of
X's
us.
statement was, right?
Which is what man's about.
Okay, this is what we're saying.
Yeah.
But we're not accepting
where's your
necessarily. What argument?
Huh?
I
So you're
can't-
not accepting what?
We're not accepting your little message about how you're being oppressed.
What do you mean our message about
Are you being oppressed, or is it a class system? Is it a racist system, or is it a class system?
Okay. This is where
Have my people been oppressed?
This is where obviously Bob Marley called it educated fools. This is where white people just throw the thing in there.
Sorry, it's an ad hominem attack. I'm a fool.
No. I'm saying educated fools, but it's a statement that's made, because when you say is it a race system or a class system, you act like it's like. Okay, let me explain it to you in layman's terms. You got sexism, you got racism, you got classism, yeah? Just because there's racism, there's still sexism and classism. You understand? The difference with classism is if you're oppressed because of your class, you can give an illusion of your class, you can look richer, and you could be treated differently, or your class could actually change because you could inherit, you could start a business. So if you're oppressed because of classism, that can change.
But I'm not saying I am.
If you're like my sisters over here,
Yeah.
and you're oppressed because of racism or sexism, it cannot change. This is the difference between classism, racism, and sexism. So I'm not saying that there's not classism in this country,
So
because
what-
the average white youth that lives on the estates that I'm talking about
Yeah.
relates to what I'm saying more than some black people that live in richer areas.
But your claim is that they're oppressed by
I still
race.
see classism, but what I'm saying is my white friends, when I grew up, they used to hold the weed. The reason why they used to hold the weed is because police didn't stop and search them. So there is racism. Like, the fact that there's oppression in this country, I'm talking about my experiences. It's like when women talk about sexism. I'm not a woman. I've never been through sexism. So how could I even make an argument that women should be talking about classism and not sexism, or racism and not sexism? I can't make that argument because I haven't been through what they've been through. I've got to listen to women.
No, but we can rationalise what they say.
And then when women come back to me, yeah, then I can put my analysis. That's what I'm showing you. At the beginning of this video, there was a guy who's not black, yeah? And what did he say to me? He said, bruv, I'm loving the movement. I'm rating what you're doing for your people.
Okay, so that's anecdotal evidence that one guy loves you.
There's a white guy who's from Australia. He was there a minute ago as well. But yeah, no, it's not just one guy. It's people all
No,
over.
I saw one guy. That's anecdotal evidence of one guy.
Yeah, that's anecdotal evidence. No. If you want anecdotal evidence, go into
Anecdotal.
Go into content over everything and look at the comment section if you want anecdotal
Yes,
evidence.
and that's true of a lot of the,
All right,
the
cool.
things here. A lot of Muslim chaps get a lot of love on the Darwa channels,
that's cool.
on the Socko channel, the Christians do, and so forth.
That doesn't take away from the reality.
Steve gets a lot of
what's
love on the
happened.
atheists.
Yeah,
scene.
right.
That doesn't take away from the reality of what man's saying. Though.
But we're talking. You're putting forward the argument about systemic racism. Right?
Racism, systemic.
Okay, so let's hear
Yeah.
those arguments. Where's the systemic racism here today that you see?
Okay.
Lay it
You
out.
see, when you build a house, you see when people say the system's broken, the system's not broken, the system was built like this. So when we're being oppressed, we're not being oppressed because the system
Feel
is
free to
broken.
heckle.
It was built like this. It was built on our oppression. It was built on the backs of black people. It was built on slavery.
And white people.
It was built on colonialism, primarily black people. And that's where you lot go wrong sometimes. I'm not saying that white people was not involved, but I'm saying that in Germany, in the war, when Americans captured the German other side, they war in Germany. So America's war in Germany. This is big world war, yeah. But when they when they captured the white guys were still able to eat with the white guys, and the black soldiers still had to eat in segregated positions. So even though
Hitler had many black soldiers.
Hitler probably had. Well, the guy, the famous runner from America, said that when he went to Germany, it was less racist than America. That was his experience over there. But what I'm saying is, this wasn't Hitler. This was the American side. When
The Arabs were also part of the Axis, right?
Listen, when the Americans captured their German enemies, you know how they talk about Germany all the time, World War.
Yeah, you're
Hitler.
talking about treatment of prisoners of war.
When they
You're saying it's
captured
racist.
them, they were still able to eat on better tables than the black people who was fighting on the same side as the white people. So when I'm talking about systemic racism, this is what I'm talking about. This is just not.
I know, but brother, you jumped to World War II there. Were you asking about now?
Huh?
We were asking about now. You
So
jumped to World War II.
You see what you
I
got?
mean, I can't deny
when you
that.
build
Or I can't
something on a
refute that information.
foundation, when you build something on a
Hey, brother, how you
foundation, that foundation, yeah, if you build your house on sand, then that sand, yeah, it's not solid ground, yeah. So the fact that they've built it with the corruption, it's now embedded. It's embedded in the system. The prejudice is embedded in the system. If you check the statistics, this country itself will tell you that the police institution is systemically racist.
Some
You
senior police
understand?
officers have said that, yeah.
When we're talking about immigration, you understand? A lot of the time when the argument of immigration comes forward, it's just hidden racism. You understand? You just don't like people from other places. You understand? So what I'm saying is, this system, if we look at every institution, if you look at schooling, if you look at mental health, if you look at the prisons, if you look at the banking, no matter what system you look at, if you study it properly, you're going to see clear prejudices in there. And the problem is, when you don't want to see it, you want to deny it, you want to stand there and try to convince me like I'm crazy for what man's been going through. You understand? This is the problem. And then they wonder why there's a lack of unity. How can you unite with someone who completely ignores
I'm getting heckled about
what you're
racism.
going through? You understand?
What's up?
One would say, the Englishman would say, each to their own. So why can't they all make themselves better?
That's what we're talking about.
But
We have no problem with the own
the
side.
difference is,
The higher you go up, right, there's going to be
Why is that an
racism.
issue?
Because the higher you go up, the more things they have to look up to keep to themselves.
There's definitely classism there.
Yes. So,
100%,
classism,
100%.
Racism, sexism, all of it.
All of
The
it.
higher you go up,
Homophobia.
I'm
No, they didn't mention
when we're
homophobia.
talking about racism, we're not denying classism. We're not saying classism doesn't exist, and we're not saying classism isn't a problem. Because it is a problem. But classism doesn't refute
But
the
you've still got
problem
to
of racism.
give evidence of systemic racism. I agree that senior police officers have said that the police force is systemically racist, but you need to give evidence of systemic racism.
You just look at the
You're
statistics.
making.
I'm saying, yeah, I might not know the statistics off the top of my head, but I know
That's okay, you can go and get them
time-
some other time, it doesn't
every
matter.
No, because I know I've studied the statistics, and I know everyone here knows that the statistics of how black people are represented in a mental health institution, how we are represented when we're getting loans, when we're trying to get jobs, if we've got black names, we all know where it is. This ain't nothing new. And the thing is, when you try to come, are you English?
Yes.
Okay, when you as an Englishman tries to come to all of us and pretend to us that, oh, there's no racism problem. Remember, we grew up in this country.
I think you just
We
made
grew-
it about
we
race.
grew-
I just
we-
ask him if
listen,
he's
listen,
Englishman
listen,
as well.
listen.
You're an Englishman as well, aren't you?
Listen.
Are you an Englishman?
Listen.
Are you an Englishman?
Listen, we grew up with the English guys
He's not
who
answering.
used to call the Scottish sheep herders. Who used to say the Welsh were goat shaggers.
Listen,
Who used to
none
say
of-
that
none of us have control
one
of
minute,
the
bro. One minute, bro. Let's break this down. The same English guys in our class that told us the Scottish were sheep shaggers and the Welsh was this and the Irish were terrorists.
The French
Yeah.
smell.
So what we're saying is, within the UK,
Monkey trial, I
they
think.
don't even like the man them over there. So then, boom. Worse is the French and the Germany and else, and then they don't even like the Eastern Europeans. So how are they gonna think about me, a black man? I'm on the far spectrum of that side, but I can see how you
Because Africa doesn't behave like that, does it? One tribe in Africa doesn't hate the next tribe. What you're describing is humankind across the planet.
I can't say that I can point to one African
Everywhere.
culture
Everywhere.
that has caused genocide, spread genocide right
Calling
across the
Welsh
map.
people
Like
sheep
everywhere they
shaggers
went.
is not a genocidal act.
No.
is it?
But what I'm saying is, I'm saying the actions of the people that did call the Welsh the sheep shaggers, yeah. Everywhere they went, they pillaged, they raped, and they stole. That's how they got powerful.
getting this
So they're here
When
telling
did
you.
England do that in Wales?
No, I'm not. I'm saying the English people, yeah, the same English people that was calling the people sheep shaggers, yeah, their history is written in pillaging, raping, and stealing. So they
Like
told me.
virtually every
so they
culture.
told me.
Like the Romans,
Huh?
like the Vikings,
Like every culture.
like every culture throughout time.
I don't
the
think
Mongols.
every culture. I think when you do that, you.
Well, no, we're talking about facts.
I think
Historical
I
facts.
think historical
For me.
fact, yeah, is chattel
Again.
slavery was the worst crime done to humanity ever.
definition.
If you're Jewish, you probably disagree with
Well,
that.
I
If
think
you're Jewish, you probably
I think
disagree
the Jewish
with that.
war was 6 years, and I think that.
asked you if you were English, Respect.
I think the Jewish
you
war.
English?
I think the Jewish war lasted 6 years, and I think our slavery was not 6 years. It wasn't 12 years. It wasn't.
So every
10 years,
synagogue
it
doesn't
wasn't
have
20
security
years,
on the
it wasn't
door
30
today.
Years, it wasn't 40
So every
years. It
synagogue
wasn't 50
doesn't
years,
have
it wasn't
security
100
on the
years,
door
it wasn't
today.
200 years. It wasn't 500 years, and you still want to come and
Every
compare what they went
synagogue
to
has
us.
got security on the door today.
No,
What are you talking
every-
about? 6 years.
What are you talking about?
Every synagogue has security on the door to keep people out that want to kill them, that want to cause them
Look at
harm.
Palestine. Do you want to start a debate about Palestine? Viva Palestina.
Churches don't have security
bro.
on the door. Wherever
Come on.
Rastas go to worship collectively, they don't have
Because
security
we have the
on the
Most High
door.
protecting us. Them man have devils protecting them. Because remember, them man are dealing with a devilish order. You understand? Because them
All Jews are devilish, is that what you're
Are you
saying?
listening? This is what I'm saying.
Jews are devilish.
This is what I'm saying.
Careful what you're saying.
No, I don't have to be careful of anything I'm saying. I'm not mincing
Apparently
my
not.
words. Yeah. I'm not gonna mince my words.
Clearly.
Yeah. The people that went and invaded the land of
Or the Romans? You're talking about the
No,
Romans
I'm
or the
talking-
Vikings?
Right now, I'm
Who are
talking
you
about the Jews and the
about?
Palestinians. Yeah, and if you're talking about Jewish
You're
people,
picking and choosing
in
your empires,
every
aren't you?
power
ones he
place,
doesn't like.
You're
in
picking and
in
choosing
ev-
your
in
colonial
ev- in-
imperial
in ev-
powers,
No,
aren't
no,
you?
no, no. I'm
Let's
talking
ignore the Soviets, let's ignore the Romans, let's ignore the Chinese, let's ignore
No,
the
we're talking about
the
now.
Mongolians.
We're talking about the most current. We're talking about the most current genocide on the planet. That's what we're talking about.
Russia you have invaded Ukraine within the last 5 years. Russia's invaded Georgia within the last 10 years. You're not current.
And that had
You're
nothing.
not current.
And that had nothing on the whole colonialism of Africa.
Oh,
And
really?
the
So
con-
Putin isn't
and-
a colonial imperialist? Are you serious?
Not on the
Are you
levels. Not on the
serious?
levels of Britain. No. Are you mad?
Britain's the worst.
Are you mad?
Because Britain's the worst.
100%. 100%.
We do a different type of killing, apparently.
Obviously,
When other people do killing, it's a
what we
different
have to
kind of- it's
understand,
okay
yeah,
killing. When
is
we do it,
you
it's bad
When you went to
killing.
school in this country, how did they tell you to be successful?
When we have
They
slaves,
told
it's a terrible
you to go to
slavery.
school
But when
and
Arabs
then
have
go to
slaves,
college
apparently it's not that
and
bad.
then go to uni and then work hard because that's how you'll be successful. But what did we learn in the history books? Because we want to know how you were successful. Because we want to follow you in it because you're successful. So let's find out.
When you're in Jamaica, you learn about Jamaica's success. When you're in Thailand, you learn about Thailand's success.
Yeah.
Nothing unusual about what
Yeah.
you're describing. It happens around the world.
But what I say is, when we learn about
Is
the
it
success
not?
over here, we learn that in order to become successful, you have to rob, pillage, and steal. That's what we learned
That's
from
the
this
message
country.
you took, right?
Yeah.
That's what the history says.
That's what me and Steve do at the weekend.
That's what the history book says.
We rape,
No,
pillage,
you don't
and
have
rob.
to anymore.
Why don't we
You
do
can-
it?
you-
Why
you
don't we do
said
it?
it's
Why
the
didn't
most
we take
current.
that message?
Because you've already got the peas. You don't have to. How are you going to rape anything
They
more?
shared it out with us, didn't they? The elite. The Queen knocked on my door and handed out the cash to me. The serfs. She gave the serfs the
100,
cash.
100.
Where's
Fam,
this shit coming
fam,
from, man?
fam, what I'm saying is,
You're
regardless-
making it a racist.
regardless, you've got privilege.
There's people that own the factories and there's people that work in the factories. They may both be white, but they're not
Or
the
both
same.
be black.
No, but what I'm saying
Yeah,
is,
yeah.
I'm saying
It's
regardless
class.
of that, regardless
It's class,
of
thank
that,
you.
there's still a privilege that comes along with the race. There's still access.
What's your take on the fact that white working class boys are now doing the worst? What's your take on that? What's your take on that?
My take on that is the same. My take on that is the same take I have when they say that immigrants are taking white people's jobs. I'm saying that if someone like Uncle Jamal can come from wherever he comes from and take your job and he's not speaking full
That's
English.
not, we're not talking about taking jobs. We're talking about
we're saying white working
achievements of white working class boys that are now the lowest of the low.
That's on to
What's
them.
your
innit?
take on that?
That's on to them. They've got all of the. They've got all of the
That's on to
resources. They've got all of the resources. They've got everything at their fingertips. They've got nothing in their way. They have got our African
So
name.
why are
that
they
stops them
fucking
from getting a job.
failing? Why are they failing?
That's on them. You got to ask
So you're
them
not
that.
worried about that? As
But
a
it's
fellow
not. But what he's
human
saying
being?
is it's not
on
on
the
blacks.
estates.
He's
You're
saying
not
it's not on
worried
blacks.
about
It's
that.
on whites. It's not on blacks though.
I'm worried about the deaths in
Because they don't
Africa
have this
off the
special
back of the
privilege that we
colonialism
have.
that you're pretending didn't happen.
So your white brothers on the estates next door to you, you don't give a shit about? Is what you're
No,
saying?
I'm saying the death of people in Africa as a result
There are
of
lots of
colonialism.
problems around the
Yeah, but I'm
world.
saying that's
There are
worse.
lots of
So
problems
when you
around the
when you
world.
show me
So you're not worried about your brothers.
When you show
You're
me,
not worried about
when you
your
show me my
brothers.
white friends that are dying from class, then I'll start worrying. But that's what white privilege is. You can worry about class. I have to worry about dead brethren and dead youths. We've got different issues. That's why you go and march about cuts. We march about police brutality. We've got different issues. This is what white privilege is, Steve.
Well said.
Well said.
Oh, bravo. There you go.
Give him a clap.
Give him more.
You got what you wanted, but you haven't changed fuck all. You've not said anything truthful.
Bro, I'm not here for you, you know.
Who are you?
No, you're here for you.
I'm here for the truth.
This is
and
your
the truth alone.
fandom here. Look,
No,
your
this is
fandom.
my family.
This is your
This is my family.
black privilege.
This is my family. It's
black
not
privilege.
fandom. And when
Is
you
it
look
black
around,
privilege?
you see people from every blood clot where.
But the white guys, because it's racist, right? The white
No,
guys,
we
you
got
don't give a
white
shit
guys on
because
our
that's their
side.
problem.
We
That's
got
your
white guys on our
No,
side.
but
was
you
just
made
pointing
it a
them out
race
and you
thing.
didn't give a shit
No,
about
I'm
them.
saying no.
I just pointed
you
those white
pointed-
guys
no,
out.
you pointed them
And you
out
didn't
as
seem to
if
care.
No. It's not. That's
the impression
Can I
you
explain
gave.
to you that
The
I'm dealing with
impression you
deaths
gave.
and they're not dying? When they start dying, I'll start caring. I promise.
So they have to die for you to care.
No, what I'm saying is right now I'm dealing with the people that are
That's
dying.
it, basically.
I'm dealing with the people that are dying. That's what I'm dealing with. I'm dealing with my little brothers in the streets that are dying right now. So right
His
now,
argument is they're
my
dying because-
brethren's over there. My white brethren, they're cool.
racism.
I'm telling you.
But
I'm
that's
telling you.
that white
people.
You
Is
see
that
them
white
same- You see them
people's
same
fault?
white
Is
guys.
it white
You
people's
see them
fault?
same white guys. They're the ones that are giving the man in the boxes of food. See the white guys at the bottom of the chain. They're at the top of the food chain, like on the streets. So you might feel like they're down, but them white guys are still driving around. They're still
So you're
nice.
talking about white homeless people? What are you talking about? I don't know what you're talking about.
White
I'm
homeless-
saying even at the bottom there's a hierarchy.
I'm saying even on the
So
streets.
homeless people?
I'm saying
Homeless
even,
white
I'm saying
people have
even
still
in the,
got white privilege.
I'm saying
Are you
even in the
serious?
streets, the white boys.
In comparison to our
what I'm
black
saying-
Homeless white people
alright,
sleeping in the
all
gutter
right, let me
tonight
explain.
have
Let
white
me
privilege.
explain
You're
it
not
for you
serious.
to understand.
He
We
is
used to
serious,
roll with a
that's the
couple
problem.
white guys. One named
And everyone around
one
him
name,
believes
one
him.
name Ideal, and one named D-Rock. And anytime these guys went into the shop, they used to buy stuff because they had money. Yeah. Anytime their birthdays came around, they got a lot of money. One was Irish, one was English. They got a lot of money. What I'm saying is, us black youths, we lived a whole different life. We was all on the struggle together. We was all hustling together. We was all shutting together. But at the same time, my white brethren had it a little
Black
bit
schools-
easier.
black kids at my school
even
did it.
even
They
when the
got
man,
jobs,
even
everyone
when the
else.
man that was ready to work, it was our white brethren that got us the jobs. Because the white guys had the access. Steve, if you ain't got a white friend, you can't get a job out here.
Did you hear what he just said? If you've got a white friend, you can't get a
You
job.
can't get a job. It's hard. I'm telling
Crock
you,
of
it's hard.
shit.
How many black people are running businesses? How many black guys
Horace
and
was
women
the
are running
first person
businesses?
to employ me. He's a white guy. He wasn't a black guy. As a youth worker.
We'll find a black guy to give you a job.
No, I got a black guy to give me a job, but it happened way later on in my life. And there's not as many black people that have institutions and industries in order to employ our own, which is why we're talking so much about economics.
So the black people I went to university with and the black people that went and worked in banks, the same as I did, got exactly the same pay. What happened to them?
Well, my mum, I don't know.
Nobody did them a favour. They worked hard for what they had.
I don't know about
And
that.
you're
I don't know.
undermining that shit.
I don't know about that. I don't know about that. I don't know about that.
That's bullshit.
One minute. I don't know about that. My mum told me.
Dream on, you just want to perpetrate racism. That's what you're here for.
My mum told
You're
me,
here to
and
perpetrate
all you black
racism.
people
You're a
here
racist. That's
know
what it
what I'm
comes down
saying.
to.
If you're in this country, you have to work twice as hard. You have to work twice as hard. And we're cool with it. Yeah, because we're warriors. We're battlers.
In my team, I've got two two white girls, a black girl and an Asian girl. They all work exactly the same. You are talking bollocks. I'm sorry. Exactly the same. And you know, actually, the black girl is probably the strongest out of all of them. But they all work exactly the same. You're talking nonsense.
Steve is trying to equate that he knows what those black girls had to do to get to the same place.
I know what they do.
No.
I'm their manager.
What I'm saying
I know
is,
precisely what they do.
You don't know what their struggle was, their actual background, their history, their mother, their father. You don't know what they had to do. Yeah. What I'm saying.
You're not my director. She's a woman and 30-something. You're not.
What I'm saying is my mum, yeah, my mum senior. My mum.
You are being so insulting to that girl that I was just referring to.
My mum was more qualified than her seniors. My mum was more qualified than her seniors. My mum had more experience than her seniors. But my mum was still below the white woman above her. Yeah? But my mum didn't know why.
What did she do?
My mum was in connections. She had a white woman above her, but my mum was more qualified and she done more. But my mum was below her. This is my life. This is my experience.
So no one else's experiences count?
I think a lot of other people have experienced it as well.
20 years in this business.
Yeah? Come on, bruv. And still doing cleaning jobs. And still doing the cleaning jobs that a lot of you don't want to do. Let's be real.
Now the finance director.
Yeah?
So you don't have more experience than me. 20 years.
Alex is on a wind-up at the back there.
Trust me, like, obviously.
We don't trust you, that's the point.
I don't trust you.
I know you don't, because you're a racist.
You don't have to trust me. I'm not asking you to trust me. I've never ever come here once and said anything about you. You ain't even in my reality. I only addressed you today. You're irrelevant. I addressed you today because I saw you.
Why are you addressing irrelevant?
Because man's here, innit, and I see him, so I said, let me just run up on him.
Camera, that's what's most important.
The camera's more important.
Let's
roll up on it.
Let's roll up on it. Fam, I don't need speakers.
Who's got the beer? Who's handing the beer out?
I don't need speakers corner for fame. If you know about man, you know that I had 400,000 views on YouTube before Speakers Corner. 400,000 before Speakers Corner on my own channel for sticking it on Feds. Yeah? Speakers Corner did not make me famous, bro. I brought hype to Speakers Corner, if anything, fam. Content brought hype to Speakers Corner, if anything.
Yeah, he did.
The thing's popping now. You understand? You understand?
Divide and conquer.
You can't divide and rule the gangsters, Dev.
How can anyone diss this man?
That's my G.
How can anyone
That's my G. You can't diss
He's
this G.
supposed to come round here.
Exactly, that's what I just said. No one could. No one could.
I head top man for that still. Can't diss Leon. You get me? Head top man for that.
Still waiting for some evidence.
What's this, Leonism?
Yes, exactly.
But are you listening though, yeah? This is the main thing, innit?
What evidence?
Obviously, don't get it twisted, yeah?
Not anecdotal evidence, actual evidence.
I'll give you evidence. My office says 150.
Not anecdotal evidence. Do you understand what anecdotal means? Don't give it to me. You're boring me already.
Let me just finish my sentence.
Alright, explain antidote after you speak.
No, not antidotal. Anecdotal.
Yes.
Listen, 150 people work in my office. 100% of them are white middle class people, apart from me. Yeah, I don't fit in.
Nor do I.
But
Welcome to the club. It's
none of
called
them are from
classism.
London. None of them are from London. There's far more people from London that look like me, that talk like me. Right? They're not represented in that business, and there's a reason for it. Yeah, there's a reason for it, and there's decisions that were made long before you and I were born. We're not blaming you. We're just saying recognize the reality.
But bad name, man. You know why you got bad name, man? Yeah, it's because we got these lot eight. No, but what I'm saying is these man. Yeah, I don't expect them to understand. Yeah, the kind of white people that understand are white people that come from the same place as us. If you lived on the estate and you lived in the ends,
you just
or you lived
demonstrated you
around
don't
the
give a shit
ends.
about
No.
You demonstrated
I never said that.
Because they're white and they're not dying. You don't care about it. They're not dying and they're white. You don't care about
I pointed out very specifically that my white brethren used to hold the weed because they knew they
Is
would
that
not
what
get
it's all about?
church.
Holding weed, for goodness
Bruv,
sake.
they used to do
That's
everything.
all it's about.
What are you talking about? Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
you're better than that.
Yeah.
You're better than that.
100. The reason why they used to hold the weed is because they knew they was comfortable. They knew they had a privilege that we didn't have as black youths. They knew they had a privilege to be treated like human beings. No, it's not, because this privilege is understandable. Because when the officer sees him, he sees his nephew. He sees, that looks like Jack. He looks like Darren. That was at the fucking pub the other night. You have a relation point with me. I'm a nigger. And that's how it is in every industry. It's not just the police, it's the bank, it's every industry. There are people with these mentalities.
Every industry.
100%. You know the Jews in your bridges run the music industry.
That discriminate like he's talking about. Any? Have you ever met any?
Never.
Have you ever?
Never.
What, sorry? No, it's not. But if it's there, if it's systemic, where is it? Where is it? We're still not no evidence. We've got no evidence.
So institutional racism doesn't happen.
We have senior police officers have said it happens. Yeah.
No,
But they're-
no.
not giving any evidence. Just said it happens. So we have to accept it.
The report was based upon statistics. They didn't just come out with
Did you see
they
statistics?
didn't just come out.
I saw a blanket
Because
saying-
You said it applies in healthcare. How does it apply in healthcare?
in mental health.
How?
We're disproportionately.
All mental health healthcare is not invested
We're
in.
disproportionately represented.
All of mental healthcare is undersourced.
Do you know why we're disproportionately?
All of mental healthcare is
Do you know why we're
under-resourced.
disproportionately represented?
Tell me.
Yeah, we're disproportionately represented because we're attacked more, just like we're disproportionately.
Attacked?
Yes. For example. The reason why we're 80% of the jails is because we're
talking about healthcare.
No, yeah, but it all makes sense if you just let me finish, yeah? We are 80% of the jails, yeah, when we're only 18% of London because we are stopped and searched more. You stop and search Asian people more, you're gonna have more Asian people in the jail. You stop and search white people more, you're gonna have more Asian. So we're attacked more from that industry. It's the same thing with mental health. You understand? We're attacked more.
Attacked what in the hospitals?
Yeah, but fam, I know people that have gone to doctors and had conversations with doctors and then been signed into the mental institution sections, and I know people that have been arrested and been sectioned.
Do you know how many doctors have to agree to a section?
And I know people, and there's many people that know this from the black community that have gone into a mental institution sane and came out insane. Yeah?
And I tell you, that's been happening for centuries to all people.
Yeah? But what I'm saying is we're disproportionately represented. We're disproportionately represented. Run, devil man, run. That's again. You called
Casual racism.
Just admit you're racist.
No, you're a devil, man.
Your whole narrative, you are tied into racism, and you can't let it go, brother. You can't let it go.
Let me show you something, yeah?
Can't let it go.
If a black guy,
You're a racist.
If a black guy comes with your mentality, he's a bigger devil than you. So don't worry.
No.
So you're not the worst then?
Isn't
You're not the
racist.
worst. No,
He's a
he's the
devil
worst.
because he's not a racist.
No. I'm not a racist, you duh.
What do you mean, duh? What, black person can't be racist?
Racism is prejudice plus power.
And no black people have power.
Listen. When we said that we was upset,
Malcolm X have power? Did Malcolm X have
when
power?
black people talk about racism, it's not because white people came to the shores and said nigger. They could have said nigger until their tongue goes dry. If they didn't enslave, colonize, and rape us, there would have been no problem. We would have loved that nigger word. Do you understand? Calling me a nigger isn't racism. Racism was prejudice, but when you got the power to influence my life with that prejudice. Yeah? So that's what the system of slavery was, that's what the system of colonialism was, and that's what the system of institutional racism is. This is why black people cannot be racist. I can think all I want about white people, and it's not going to affect white people in banking. It's not going to affect white people. Listen, let me finish. It's not going to affect white people in banking. It's not going to affect white people in schooling.
What about your neighbours? What about your colleagues?
It's not going to affect you in any institution of power. If you, as a white person, has prejudice against me, 9 times out of 10, it's going to affect me in banking, it's going to affect me in the police, it's going to affect me in all the institutions. This is why we say racism is prejudice plus power.
It's a political ideology, my friend.
Don't agree.
I like Raspect, dropping them gems.
I don't agree.
And also pointing that out doesn't make you racist.
You have a slightly different definition of racism.
No. Racism.
If I
Wait. Can the raper define what rape is? Yeah. So listen. So when white people when white people try to define what racism is, black people in America said they must be mad.
You are so binary,
they must be crazy.
It's either black or white.
How could we allow them to define what racism is? And the way they defined racism was in a way which hid the actual crimes of racism and what we actually had a problem with. So what we actually had a problem with was not the prejudice. White people could think if a white girl doesn't like white people don't like me, it's cool. But what I'm saying is, if that's affecting me in my everyday life, in every institution I'm dealing with in this country, that's where the problem is, and that's where always the problem with racism has been. The problem with racism hasn't been the fact that my neighbour doesn't like me. That don't affect me. It's when the police disproportionately stop and search me, and now it's left me to be more criminalised than my white counterpart who's rolling around with all the cocaine in it, and all I got is some ganja.
Always come down to the ganja, doesn't it?
Hold tight, rap boy. Come on.
Herbs is the healing.
You reckon?
100.
And you want to talk about mental health?
Huh?
And you want to talk about mental health?
100%.
You don't see any connection?
Nah, man, I think
No connection
I think
at all.
Rastas are the sanest people in the world and they burn a lot of ganja. I think the Rasta message of one love and like reggae music and all that, I think it's the sanest message in the world.
And
they
it's
smoke a lot
also,
of
just
weed.
to add to that, the opposite, Somalis don't use marijuana very often. It's not a thing.
What's their mental health
It's not, and it's catastrophic.
Their mental health is catastrophic.
Mogadishu has something like 40% of people in Mogadishu will suffer from a catastrophic mental health episode because civil war for the last 20 years. I don't know if you know that. So just because somebody smokes weed doesn't mean that they're gonna have a psychotic episode. It may trigger a psychotic episode, yes, but they were already
So
it might help it.
Person.
But if it did trigger it, they already had a disposition for it.
100%.
Understand?
100%. There's no science.
So there is no
to prove
correlation.
that.
Because
it
if there was
causes
a
it.
correlation, Somalis wouldn't be heavily overrepresented in the
It
mental
doesn't
health
have to be the only thing, does
But I'm
it?
just saying, innit? I'm giving you an example of a group of people that don't smoke weed, right?
Yeah, but as you then pointed out, it's the war and it's what they've been
Yeah, but I'm saying
exposed
even
to.
in this country, in London, right, we are heavily overrepresented in the mental health institutions, right? And we don't smoke weed like that, bro, right? We don't, innit? So if what you're saying is true and there's a direct correlation between the
There
two.
can be, but it doesn't mean there aren't other things that also cause it.
But anyway, if what you're saying was true, we would be the sanest people in the world, and
You're not listening
Rastafarians
to what I'm saying,
and
no.
Rastafarians would have a catastrophic mental health.
He's going to die in a sense, no. Probably meant to get the charger from the whip.
Don't worry, Steve. You're not meant.
I'm back, sorry. My friend's on the phone. I'm going in a second. I want to listen into some more
devil's
racism.
back.
I'm interested.
It's not
Devil's
racism.
back.
Just point. How is pointing out racism make you racist? I don't understand.
And he calls it,
discriminating.
by the way,
That's not
by the
what
way,
I'm saying.
by the way,
In what way
you
do you discriminate?
can
In
look
what
up
way
so many videos where this guy's called himself a devil. So this guy, not you. I never called you a devil. He calls
Am I
himself.
not a devil?
He's that cake. He
can't
calls
do
himself
mockery.
cake.
Can't do
Am I a devil?
Huh?
Am I not a devil?
I don't know what you are.
Which means you
Call
could be,
yourself a
right? You
devil.
can't say you're
I don't know
not.
what you are.
We haven't even talked.
I don't. Yeah, we don't
And
know.
I think you
I
probably
don't
will
know.
conclude I am. These bros now.
At least everyone's laughing. That's good. That's
Exactly.
good.
No, we
Laughing's
got banner.
good.
We got banner. Listen, pointing out racism doesn't make you a racist.
I don't think anyone
doesn't make
suggests
it.
it is.
Yeah,
Yeah, but
that's
I'm
also-
saying it's
also-
part of the problem.
One second.
To go on about that,
One
to
second.
spin that
One
narrative.
second.
But
Do you
what-
appreciate? Can I just make one point?
Yeah, let the
Do you-
brother make a point.
Do you appreciate that the people that designed this society, the Adam Smiths of the world,
designed
all-
The
all-
elites, the elites.
the elites,
Yeah.
believed in this eugenics bollocks. All of them, 100% heavily invested into it.
They were happy to fuck us as much as they were happy to fuck anybody of brown skin. Trust me.
True, poor working class white people got it as well. I mean,
Serfs, man, they were serfs. They couldn't even travel from one town to the
Cool,
next.
but they don't make it the same as what happened to black people in Jamaica or the south of America. It's not the same. Do
I
not
know, it's
equate.
really-
do not equate
I know,
or
it's
compare.
really
It's
difficult.
insulting
I
when
know.
you equate it.
I didn't equate it.
But you are by bringing it up. You're
We're
equating
talking
the two.
about here and now in this country.
Okay.
The fact that we can talk like this, brother, the fact that we can do this
One second,
is a testament to this country, is it not, Steve?
If you accept,
We're not killing each other.
If you accept, Adam Smith and Winston Churchill and all these
I
people,
don't like
and
either
the,
of them.
And the elites, were heavily invested in this eugenics politics. Why can't you understand there is a legacy to that?
There is a legacy.
That's what I'm saying to you. That's what we're pointing
but
out.
this narrative that he is spinning is encouraging this race divide.
I am
He's
50.
calling me devil.
I am
He's calling me devil.
No, I didn't call you a white devil. I called you a devil. Yeah? Let's get it right.
You're denying the reality.
I called you a devil.
Look,
I
black
didn't call you-
supremacy.
But
He wants the camera.
listen, yeah?
Racist.
One thing, everyone in the park, yeah? When you see Raspect talking, do I talk about racism? Do I talk
All
about
the
white
time!
people?
All the time!
Do I talk about white
hear.
people? Do I talk about white people?
That's
I
what you
don't.
hear.
I talk about the black community. I talk about the youth. I talk about ways
you
to
do,
solve
you
it.
do, you
That's
do.
what I talk about. When
You also called me a
the
white devil.
conversation
You called you a
is
devil.
I called you a devil,
try
not a
and
white
remix
devil.
the
Don't
thing.
remix
You
it.
said I said
That
it.
makes
You
a
lied. You
devil.
said I said I was a white devil.
That's why you're a devil.
Why am I a devil?
That's what, because you're remixing the truth. I called you a devil, not a white
Remixing
devil.
anything.
And I let you know.
Remixing.
And I let you know that a black man. I let you know that a black man.
Remixing here, brother.
A black man who denies what
Got a
we
bit
go
of
through.
electro on the
In
table.
order to fit in with you, is a worse devil than you. You understand? So you know that anyway. But what I'm saying is, yeah.
He got lost in his own bullshit then. Did you see that? He like ran and then he went, what was I saying about white devils? Oh, fucking forgotten.
I said a black man. I'll say it again for you.
Black
A black
man,
man.
yeah. You're oppressed,
yeah,
we're oppressors.
A black man.
We're nasty.
Who tries
that
to
simple,
hide
man. There's
racism
nuances.
in order to.
Why are you trying to make it so binary?
That's why man got off the court.
Because he's
Right,
making
right,
it
right,
binary.
right, right,
We're
right.
taking the piss.
There are nuances. There are nuances.
And we
the
accept
reality.
that. And
Listen,
we
the
accept
reality
that.
is this. The
No,
reality.
what we're saying is a hierarchy in homeless
reality.
Are you listening? Are you listening?
Bro,
Are you listening?
he does
I
think
never.
that.
Being
I
a white homeless guy is better than being a black homeless guy. That's
I
the
never
reality,
talk about
bro.
white. I try my.
A white homeless guy is better off than a black homeless guy.
100%.
On what are you basing that?
Based upon if he puts on a suit and a tie and gets his fucking.
He's not, he's fucking homeless.
No, homeless.
No,
No, what I'm saying is, if he goes to a charity shop, and takes £5 of his fucking of his homeless money and gets a little
really
shave up,
believes.
You really think
you look like a
Mungo's,
businessman.
Broadway, all the charities that help homeless people are going to treat him differently
I-
if he's black than if he's white? Bollocks.
I don't fun. It's the people.
That's
and
the
individuals.
reality of London. It's
the
the Mungo's.
people.
It's Broadway
It's the
that
people.
are helping about
It's the-
outreach,
it's the
helping
people.
homeless people.
It's the people's mentalities, and because the media
I mean, no, it's not the white
pushes
people
that,
hide that.
because the
Do you know
media
how many
pushes that racist
white
narrative.
drug addicts get rehab and black drug addicts get sent to prison? And they're in exactly the same situation. They're taking the same drug, bro. One goes to rehab, one goes to prison.
And the thing is, you could be in denial, but there's white people.
We're not in
like,
denial.
Yes, you are, because there's
we're
white
saying
people.
it's not true.
There's white people like
Big
Tim
difference.
Wise, and there's white women like Jane Elliott who have made studies.
Jane Elliott's a fucking idiot. Do you know Jane Elliott?
Why is she an idiot?
The blue eyes. It's the blue eyes.
She done the
brown
blue eye
eyes
brown
thing.
eye test.
Third grade.
Oh, she's an idiot because she exposed racism. Because she's exposing it. And that's why you have to be a devil, because only a devil is going to try and hide the truth.
That's the problem. That's the issue.
Hey, listen,
Yeah,
there
this
are
white
nu-
woman,
Lisa, there
this
are
white
nuances.
woman had death threats. This white woman was oppressed because she came out and done a blue eye, brown eye test and treated white people.
third grade.
1 minute.
So they
She
abused
treated
each
white
other.
people different. No,
she
she
did
did
it
it
with
with adults
adults,
as well.
she did it with
She did it with adults as well.
But the children
See the
actually
devil?
abused each other.
See the devil? She
That's your
pointed out
childhood.
as children, but it was adults as well. You understand? But what she done is she treated them differently based upon their eyes, and from that she saw the difference in how they've done. They done worse academically. They was unhappy. She saw.
And what, it was like
she
an
saw-
hour or
she
something,
saw-
innit?
She saw the diary. She saw. And there's so many of them,
Wasn't
and they all
academic.
come out the same. You understand? With the same result. So in that, she said, "This is how black people feel." And you know what happened? They sent her parents death threats. They sent her death threats, and people like him called her idiot.
Calling someone an idiot is not sending them a death threat.
No, I'm just saying.
Don't make the.
I'm just saying.
Why is she an idiot?
It's a false test. The whole thing was a false test.
No, it exposes the racism, and you don't like that. You don't like the fact that
I
racism
don't
is
like
being
that
exposed.
you are being racist. I'm not talking about
I'm not
this
being
exposure.
racist. I haven't said anything. I'm saying what Jane Elliott done, and you're saying I'm being racist.
What's the
That's
film
called a
for yourself?
deflection, mate. What I'm saying is, you.
No, I called you
don't-
racist before. We talked about Jane
No,
Elliott,
no.
just to be clear.
Okay, what have I said?
I actually
Okay,
said it
say
several
one
times.
statement that I've said
Because
that
you
is
discriminated against white people. You basically said that a white homeless guy is better off than a black, without any evidence whatsoever.
So what we're saying
So
is.
that's a racist
what we're-
statement.
what
in
we're-
itself.
what
You
we're-
also said that white
How many
guys,
of them go to
white guys
rehab
on the
versus
stage,
the
you
ones
didn't
that
give a
go to
shit
prison?
about them.
What we're saying
and
is,
that's a racist
what we're
statement.
saying is,
That's
what we're
what you
saying
actually
is,
said.
what we're saying is, what we're saying
That's
is, what we're
evidence out of
saying
your
is,
own mouth
a
of your racism.
white homeless person that's Eastern European, yeah, is
not the
worse
same.
off than a white person that's
Because
homeless
you
in
make this
English.
claim that you can't back up.
How?
Because of the prejudices in this country.
How? How
Are you
does
telling
it?
me you're not
how
prejudiced
does
against
it-
Slavic people, bro?
But that's just words. How does it exert itself? How does it show itself?
How does it show itself?
Yeah.
Because basically,
Because the
media-
Polish guy gets deported. He doesn't go rehab, he gets deported. The black guy goes to prison. The white guy goes to rehab. Come on, there's a difference,
saying
bro. There is a difference.
when white people kill
There is a
people in
difference.
America, they always say there's a
I
mental
lived
health
in
issue.
Bournemouth, yeah, there's tons of drug rehab centers. I've
talking
never seen
about
one black guy
homelessness.
in any of those rehab centers.
Specific
That's a
subject
fact.
is homeless.
That's a
Yeah, but what we're
fact.
saying is we're just pointing out
Yeah.
different places in there which are white privilege.
Based on
saying
it, of
a
course.
white
I'm saying
homeless
to you, I
person
live
has
next
white
door.
privilege.
I've said I'm saying.
How? How? Where's the evidence for it?
Where's the evidence
What,
for
what benefit do they get from being white and homeless that a black homeless person doesn't get? What benefit are they enjoying?
Because when you're black, you have to work twice as hard.
They're
in this
homeless, they're not
country.
working. What are you talking about?
Because in order to get work. So what I'm saying is the
He
black.
hasn't proven that
Okay,
for
okay,
us,
okay,
either.
okay. The black guy, the black homeless guy with the African name, when he does try to get a job, and the white homeless guy with the name James at
That's
the
a
end,
fact.
when he does try to get a job,
That's
he's
a
going to
proven
easier
fact.
to get a job. That's just one
many
little way.
studies
You
on
have
that?
evidence.
Yeah?
How many studies
have
are
evidence
those?
for
So
that.
do you need him to say
You
the
have
six
evidence
studies?
for what you're saying.
Don't worry, I
All
can
of these
Google
tests
it.
have been done.
What homeless person, homeless people trying to get jobs?
No,
We're talking about homeless people. We're
getting
talking
jobs
about
based
people
upon their
now.
last
Applying it
name.
to
No, he's talking about another situation.
People getting jobs
Follow,
because
bro.
of their last name.
You could
Stack
follow.
loads of black people that are called John. What are you talking about? They're indistinguishable on the application form.
And they get the
CV.
jobs.
Exactly, when they're indistinguishable. He's saying when they have African or black sounding names. Follow the conversation, bro. You're not that slow. You're doing it purposely.
Doing it better than you are. You
It's cool.
definitely are.
You know it's diversion.
Of course.
That's the
Not
truth.
at all.
Them
No, it's not at all.
man have been in the speakers corner so long. They're very good at manipulating, innit? But you can't manipulate the truth, Steve. So when you go against these other guys, I know you got some, but against the
Steve's
truth,
just
you
asking
can't.
for evidence, brother. That's
Can't.
it.
But
Just giving you evidence.
giving you
Every
how
time
much
you give
evidence?
haven't.
Yeah, give us any.
With all respect, you have not given any
There's
evidence.
no evidence.
So you're saying that
You're just saying
people
stuff.
who were discriminated against and can't get judged because of the sound of their name.
We were
that's not
talking about
evidence enough to you.
homelessness and
But we showed you that. But we showed you
Black homeless
in
people
order for you to
suffering
get
more than white
in order for you to
Okay,
get
so
out of
BBC
homelessness. One minute. In order for you to get out of homelessness, what would you have to get? A job, right?
A home. No, a home.
No. But in order to get a
That's how
home,
it gets out of
in order to get a
homelessness.
home,
It's covered in the word.
in order to get a home, you need money, and in order to get money, you need a job.
Oh, so there's no one got a home that's not got a job. Really? You really believe that?
What do you mean? No one owns
There's
their
no
home.
one that's got a home. You don't have to own your home to have a home, do you?
No, what I'm
The
saying.
majority of London don't own their home.
What I'm saying is, yeah, if you was to own your home, or you was to pay for rent in your place, yeah, or you was to even have a place.
You're not aware of housing benefit. You're not aware of council houses.
Even
You're
with
not aware of
housing benefits, you're going to need money to live. You're going to need some sort of money, and in order to have that money, I don't know about all of that. You understand? So maybe I'm a
But
bit.
he's claiming that there is 100% discrimination. That's what you're saying, right?
Definitely.
When you go for a job, they
Definitely,
discriminate.
man.
Okay.
And it's not always.
you need evidence
Like
for
I
that,
said,
right?
there's a guy called Hor.
can't just have you telling us.
No, fam. I don't need to give you evidence because what I'm
don't
trying to
care?
show you is because I'm not trying to convince you of anything.
No, we got that. You were proselytising in front of the camera.
I genuinely believe that you know exactly what we're talking about, and I genuinely
Yeah, we're all
believe
devils,
that you're
it's all a plan.
That you're deliberately
Deliberately what?
I genuinely you're trying to deliberately
just treating people fairly.
pretend
Yeah, that's
like
exactly
you
what
don't understand what we're saying. I believe that you fully understand when you sit on your sofa at night and you know what black people are going through. I think we can all see it. I think we can all see what Asians go through. I think we can all see what Eastern Europeans go through. I think we can all see it with our own eyes. So I'm not trying to
What do
convince
Eastern
you of
Europeans
anything.
go through? What are they going through?
The prejudice.
Not trying to convince you
Really?
of anything, bro.
Polish people are
Wait,
going
stay
through
on track.
prejudice.
You're trying to
100.
convince this man. You can't convince this man. Stay on track.
Russians going through that same prejudice?
100.
Russians?
Yeah.
Most of them are multimillionaires, aren't they, in London?
Most of Russia.
I don't think these guys know what prejudice really is. That's the reality. If they did, they
Most
wouldn't be calling this
millionaires in
prejudice.
London are pretty rich,
This is
aren't
the
they?
point. You can say stuff without evidence and it's fine. But when
Are
we
you
say stuff
denying the
and there's
fact
no
that most
evidence-
Russians in London
Most Russians in
don't
London.
own
I don't know.
shitloads?
Show me
Where's your
evidence.
evidence?
Show me
Where's your
evidence.
evidence?
Where's your evidence?
Oligarchs.
Where's your evidence?
Chelsea, go
That's
and
not
have a look.
evidence.
Go and
That
have a
is
look.
not evidence. And that's what I'm saying. This whole time he's been screaming out for evidence.
That's it.
We asked him
And this
for
is how we get
evidence.
exposed
And where
racism.
is it?
Because when black people present an argument, they don't get accepted. But when he presents an argument, we all have to accept it. No evidence at all.
Such a false setup.
You ain't got nothing, bruv.
You guys are about guiding a new generation. Why do you deal with this shit? Because that's not going to help. That's not guiding a new
Are
generation.
you listening?
You're
I
promoting
like that
racism.
question. I like that
You
question.
don't need his
I
help.
like that question.
You don't need his help.
There's not once on guiding a new generation when we've had any topic, any GSO topic about racism. I try my best to
Why
stay.
you done spend the last hour
Listen,
talking?
I try my best to stay away from this white black topic.
Good.
You understand?
You haven't done that tonight,
Listen. But what I will not do is I will not run away from the topic. Yeah, I'm not running into it because because if I deal with white people, if I talk about white people every day, it's not going to help black people. If I show love to black people every day, it's going to help our situation. So my energy showing hate to white people ain't going to solve our situation. My energy is better served showing more love to our daughters and showing them that they're beautiful and showing love to our sons and showing them not to kill each other. So that's where my energy goes. Saying that, when the topic of racism comes up, I'm not gonna run away. I'm not gonna hide.
Guys like Ian Wright don't go on about racism, do they? Just
Why?
as one example of a
Why?
successful black guy.
Why?
Because he
Why?
gets on with his life.
No, because
and
they.
it's a
No,
success.
listen.
He focuses on the positive,
Listen.
not on the negative.
Listen, my name's not Ian Wright, yeah? Because my people ain't eating right, yeah? Because they got paid off of being white and we got paid off of being
Just
white.
talk normally.
Yeah?
So what's your
Get that
point
one
about
later.
Ian Wright?
You get it later.
Got a rhyme in
What the
there.
hell was that point about Ian Wright? You lost me.
Don't worry. Watch it back. Rewind it and get it. You'll get it.
I don't think we'll be
Well, I
watching.
get
Yeah?
it.
Look, listen.
So you don't like Ian Wright?
Listen, Mum
You
never.
don't like Ian
Listen,
Wright?
Mum never gave me no time because she gave her whole life to Jesus Christ. But how could we see the light when we see the light? Bill paid when we see the light. and they just want to see us die because that's a pay raise for the CSI. See, they got paid off of being white, well, we got paid off of being white.
You actually mean this?
It's like we ain't got no peace inside if we ain't in the rave with the peace inside. With no one to teach us right, so we made our home the base like DIY. Then we told ourselves the deepest lie. Like we got it, we don't need advice. No one taught about the birds and the bees, but we out here doing birds for the bee. Look, listen, Satan and his masons corrupted all the people. No traces on their faces, can't spot it like the measles. Invaded in the slave. Listen. Satan and his masons corrupted all the people. No traces on their faces, can't spot it like the measles.
Masons?
Invaded in the slave ships, and no one caught the weasels. Raided from the snake pit and did it so deceitful. The bravest fought against it, the lions and the eagles, but they could not maintain it. Division is a weak force. In ages that are ancient, we used to live so peaceful till they chained us up in hatred, and poverty is the sequel. Came into a nation and poisoned it with evil. Based us up in cages, being dark skin was illegal. From babies to old ladies, the judgment was so lethal. Famous for the A's that they bring in with their needles. Brainless education, that's what they teach in these schools. Making estimations, trying to deceive all. They say they calculated, and the ego just went equal.
I hope this is working for the cameras, that ain't working for me.
I say their maths is basic, we're royal and we're regal. You understand? You'll get it later.
No, I don't. Well done.
Should we clap him? I think it's going to. So, are you going to shake a hand then?
I don't shake hands, I spud.
Alright, come on.
Oh, he spuds, okay.
Gang shit only.
What's that?
Gang shit only. We're not doing cultural appropriation, you got to appropriate to us that.
Oh, I see.
We've been doing the handshake.
So you're even making that a racist issue as well, are you?
No, but I don't know why we like to feel up man's hand and man pick out their batty and their nose and all that. You know what I'm saying? Man do all sorts of nasty things with their hands.
But they're good, those germs for you, brother. They're good. They make you resilient.
It's a nastiness that
build the immune system.
It's a nastiness. That's why we have to come as the Moors and tell man to bathe their skin.
That sounds a bit Muslim, though.
It's called conquest.
But then look, he's saying that the bogey and the batty thing on your hand is nice germs. What kind of thing is that? What kind of doo-doo on your dick inside your fingernails is nice germs?
I use toilet paper, what are you talking about?
No, because he just said it's good germs. I said that the reason why
they're
man
good
don't
for you, they're germs, they're good for you. They build the immune system.
No, it's good for you, baby. It's bad for me, that'll make me dead. It's sick in a Babylon.
It'll make you healthier.
No. They're the kind of man
I guess evolution's off the table.
He's the kind of guy that eats his own toenails. You know, like that.
Racism and evolution as well there, I think. Steve, it's been a pleasure, as always, sir.
Have a good week.
Take care, you spud man.
Rub up the
We're going to do this again when you're less willing to rap my arse off. I feel bored fucked with rap. I'm bored.
No man's asked me to rap.
I'm going to bring a white man rap next time.
Happily married, man.
A non-racist white man rap.
But me now rap the arse. No, rap the arse. Uno rap arses. You get me? Run there for man, run. 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 Fireman. Run there for man, run. Run there for man, run. Run there for man, run. Fireman. Content over everything.
Say another.
Content over everything. From your melody. Man, say it straight. Man, don't listen to BBC. Man, don't listen to ITV.
Look at all the stereotypes I attach them. One's a bad father. One's a good father. One has good hair. One has bad hair. Yeah, it comes. Math. You understand semantics. Semantics. Understand semantics.
You have to also understand
semantics. It's very, very important.
You have to understand there's a lot of black people.
You're attaching the bad father to whoever, the good father to whoever. You have the.
Are you kidding me? After 100 people, show them a white man and a black man. Yeah, make it anonymous. Yeah, so they like to put their name on it.